I was just reading the latest clinical data on sleep and memory, and it completely changes how we should look at the nights we cut short. The cost is not tiredness, it is erasure. Here is the uncomfortable finding. The things you learn during the day are not truly yours until you sleep. Skip the sleep, and the learning quietly evaporates before it is ever filed away. Your brain learns in 2 stages. First, daytime encoding, fast and fragile, written in pencil. Then, nighttime consolidation, slow and permanent, traced over in ink. Sleep debt steals the second stage. At the cellular level, consolidation runs on BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It is the protein that strengthens the synapses a memory lives in. Without enough deep sleep, BDNF-driven strengthening never completes. The clinical literature is very clear on this. Memory consolidation happens during slow-wave and REM sleep, when the hippocampus replays the day and transfers it to the cortex. Cut the sleep, cut the transfer. When you actually look at the cellular mechanism, sleep spindles do the moving. These are precise bursts of brain activity in deep sleep that ferry memory from temporary storage to permanent. Sleep debt cuts their number. And there is a second mechanism most people never hear about, the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, your brain flushes metabolic waste, including the debris that clutters the very circuits memory needs. So sleep debt is a double hit. The strengthening does not finish, and the cleaning does not run. You wake with circuits half-wired and half-clogged, and you call it a bit foggy. Watch what happens to a single fact. You learn a name at 3 in the afternoon. By evening it is a faint trace, real but fragile. That night decides everything, filed in ink, or wiped clean by morning. With full sleep the trace is replayed, strengthened, and transferred. With sleep debt the replay is cut short. The name was encoded, genuinely encoded, and then it simply never made the journey to permanent storage. This is why cramming fails. A night of lost sleep to study more does not add knowledge. It removes the one process that turns studying into memory. You trade the ink for a few more pencil marks. REM sleep matters especially for skills and meaning, the way pieces connect. Slow-wave sleep locks the facts. REM weaves them into understanding. Lose REM, and you keep fragments but lose the picture. It's just biology. None of this is about discipline or intelligence. A brilliant mind running on 4 hours consolidates worse than an average mind running on 8. The hardware needs the maintenance window. The damage compounds. One short night is recoverable, but night after night the unconsolidated memories pile up as losses you never notice, and the uncleared waste accumulates in the circuits themselves. Here is what makes it invisible. You do not feel a memory fail to consolidate. There is no alarm. The fact was there yesterday and is simply gone today, and you blame your memory, not your sleep. Measure it and the pattern appears. People tested after a full night recall far more of what they learned than people tested after a short night, even when both studied exactly the same amount. The protocol begins with protecting slow-wave sleep, which dominates the first half of the night. That means a consistent bedtime, because the early deep sleep you skip is the deep sleep you cannot make up later. Protect REM next, which dominates the second half. That means protecting your full sleep window, because cutting the morning short trims exactly the REM that weaves your learning into understanding. Optimize the protocol with light. Bright light early in the day anchors your circadian rhythm, and a well-anchored rhythm produces deeper, more consolidating sleep at night. The morning sets up the night. Cool the room. The descent into slow-wave sleep depends on a drop in core body temperature. A cooler environment deepens the very sleep stage your memory consolidation depends on most. Guard the last hour. Bright screens late at night suppress the signals that trigger deep sleep, shaving slow-wave time off the front of the night, exactly when consolidation is strongest. Understand the mechanism and a strange thing follows: a nap can help. A short afternoon nap with even a little slow-wave sleep can begin consolidating the morning's learning before the night arrives. This is not a biohack, it's just fundamental human biology. The brain was built to learn while awake and to save while asleep. Skip the saving and the learning was never really written to disk. Let's talk about the long game, because this is where it gets serious. The same glymphatic clearance that protects memory also removes the proteins linked to long-term cognitive decline. Chronic sleep debt means chronic incomplete clearance. The waste your brain should flush each night instead lingers, and over years that accumulation is associated with measurably faster cognitive aging. Health span over lifespan. The goal is not just more years, it is more years with a sharp, intact memory. And the nightly maintenance window is one of the few levers that genuinely moves that outcome. The reversibility is the hopeful part. Restore consistent sleep and consolidation resumes. The machinery is not broken, it was only starved of the window it needs. Give it the window and it works again. Measure it on yourself. Learn something demanding 2 days running. Sleep fully one night, short the next. Test both. The gap you feel is consolidation made visible in your own recall. The protocol is not exotic. Consistent bedtime, full window, morning light, cool, dark room. Protected last hour. None of it is heroic. All of it protects the cellular process that saves your learning. Understand the mechanism. Every all-nighter that feels productive is borrowing against the exact process that would have made the work stick. You are not adding study, you are deleting it. The clinical literature keeps converging on one point. It is not how long you study that predicts retention. It is how well you sleep after you study. The night is the exam your memory actually takes. So if you are a student, a professional, anyone trying to learn, the highest yield move is rarely another hour awake. It is the hour of sleep you are about to sacrifice for it. Protect your brain. The synapses you strengthen today are still wet ink tonight. Sleep is what dries them. Skip it, and tomorrow you reach for the memory and find only a smudge. Let's address the myth that you can train yourself to need less sleep. You cannot train away consolidation. You can only become accustomed to losing it, mistaking chronic deficit for your new normal. Caffeine masks the tiredness but does nothing for the memory. You can feel alert and still consolidate nothing. Alertness and consolidation are different systems. One is awake, the other only works asleep. Alcohol is worse, because it specifically suppresses REM. A nightcap may speed sleep onset but strips out the REM that weaves understanding, leaving the facts loose and the meaning unmade. Here is the reframe. Sleep is not lost time. It is the second half of learning. The lecture, the practice, the reading, none of it is finished until the night completes the work the day began. Make it concrete tonight. Pick a fixed lights out time. Dim the room an hour before. Pull the bright screen away. You are not just resting, you are opening the window where today gets saved. Track it for a week. Same bedtime, full window, morning light. Notice how much more of what you read and practiced is simply there the next day without effort. That is consolidation restored. The data is clear. The brains that remember best are not the ones that study longest. They are the ones that sleep most consistently after they study. Memory is built in the dark. Optimize the protocol. Protect the deep sleep that locks your facts. Protect the REM that weaves your understanding. Protect the clearance that keeps the circuits clean. 3 gifts, 1 window. And protect it for the decades ahead, because the nightly clearance you bank now is the cognitive resilience you draw on later. Tonight's sleep is an investment your future brain will spend. So the next time you are tempted to trade sleep for 1 more hour of work, remember what you are actually trading. Not rest for productivity, but permanent memory for temporary vanishing effort. Your memory is not failing you. You are failing to give it the night it needs to do its job. Give it the window, and what you learn today will still be yours a year from now. Optimize your protocol, protect your brain, and I'll see you in the next data set.